Hello and welcome to Observer TV News. It's Wednesday, November 30th, 2016. I'm Ashley Bruzaz.
And I'm Scott Dell, and here are the top stories. One person is dead and two are injured following an impaired driving incident. Fentanyl overdoses are on the rise in Ontario.
Streaming service Netflix is going offline. And now to our top story. An 11-year-old boy has been returned to his parents after leading police on a wild chase on Highway 400. Police received a call late Saturday night describing a vehicle all over the road. OPP caught up with the driver in Vaughan. Sergeant Carrie Schmidt says the boy had been playing the Grand Theft Auto video game and wanted to see what it was like to drive a car. Police say it was a tragedy waiting to happen, and they were able to bring the car to a stop without a collision. The game is rated M for mature. You're supposed to be 18 years of age and over to play it.
A man is dead and two more are injured after an impaired driving incident at the intersection of Parliament and Bloor Street East. A man faces 4 charges, including impaired driving causing death. Galiba Baljabin appeared in Toronto court yesterday afternoon. All of the victims were passengers in the car, which hit a telephone pole just after 10 p.m. Police say that one of the passengers sustained critical injuries and is, quote, fighting for her life. All the passengers are under 26 years old. Police believe speed was likely a key factor in the accident.
Fentanyl deaths are on the rise in Ontario. The deadly opioid drug has made headlines in the past year as it has become more widely available. Ontario's chief coroner says fentanyl deaths accounted for nearly 30% of Ontario's fatal opioid overdoses in 2015. He says the drug isn't as widespread in Ontario as it is in other parts of the country. In August, Vancouver police say they dealt with 16 fentanyl overdoses in one night. Going forward, 450 frontline officers and Border Patrol agents will be trained in the health and safety challenges posed by the drug.
Police have arrested a Russian daredevil for performing stunts on Toronto rooftops. Oleg Cricket came to Canada to create a video of his urban exploring stunts. Police charged him with break-and-enter and mischief. He was working for Switch watchmaker Bomberg, who released the video Monday morning. The video shows Cricket performing on the roof of the condos at 8 Mercer Street, where he was arrested. Cricket's urban exploration videos have earned him 300,000 Instagram followers. He charges a pretty penny for appearing on camera, though. When CBC asked him for a statement, he told them that he only worked if someone paid him. He then suggested they cough up $500. The CBC declined.
Do you think it's time to scale back your online presence? With the rise of fake news and online scams, experts say closing unused accounts is good practice. A new tool will help you delete yourself from the internet. It's called Deceit.me. That's DECEAT.me. It'll display a list of all the account services you've ever signed up for. After you enter your personal Google account, the tool will provide a direct link to remove the accounts. Recent examples of online hacking, like the Yahoo breach, show that there are dangerous ways hackers can use the information they steal. Online services are also being bought and sold, which means the information you've provided goes with it. Experts say it's important from both a security and privacy perspective to be aware of where your information is saved online.
There's been a development in the Scarborough subway extension. Apparently, the TTC no longer needs to buy certain properties in the area to build the extension. The properties around McCowan and Ellesmere Roads were originally needed to store gear for a construction site. Residents received notes in May and began to protest. Ward 38 Councillor Glenda Beermaker says the TTC has now avoided a huge mistake. TTC had originally planned to use 2 construction sites to build the subway. They'll just keep the one at Scarborough Town Centre now. A Canadian comedian has been forced to pay $35,000 to a disabled Quebec singer after making a joke about the man on TV. This after a court ruled the joke violated the victim's human rights and should be considered hate speech. Now Canada's comedy industry is feeling the effects, but as I recently reported, the edgier comics in one Toronto venue don't plan to whitewash their jokes. Should a joke be illegal? Mike Ward has been found guilty of human rights violations for telling his joke Le Petit Jeremy. This sent a shockwave through the comedy community. Can you be sued for telling a joke? Can someone be sued for making fun of an ex-lover? Can you go to jail for talking about how bad airplane food is? Comedians and producers run the risk of being sued for putting on what is called a dark comedy show, where jokes push the boundaries of good taste. We're here to find out, what kind of risk did they run living for their art?
Oh, it's a nice little cozy fart, warm you up right to the bone. Share that with your lover.
In the heart of downtown Toronto, the Corner Comedy Club is tucked away in a literal corner. You enter through the alley. The seating capacity is only 30 people. It fills up. The jokes are in really poor taste, possibly even illegal, but the performers get a raucous welcome every night.
I'm not really worried about that. Sue me, man. They'll give me a louder platform to talk about it.
The show is called The Danger Room, a safe space for dangerous ideas. The owner isn't worried about being sued for expressing ideas some might find offensive. Free speech is the one and only rule here.
So I think comedy in a large way, even compared to music, comedy in a large way is the last forum for people to really say what's on their mind and tell people what is really happening outside our doors, you know?
Listen, tonight we've created a place that is a safe space for dangerous ideas. I know we've had a lot of talk out there in the zeitgeist about safe rooms. You know, I mean, here we are in a room, nobody's getting murdered. Sounds pretty safe to me.
From comics to dinosaurs, it's like night at the museum, but can you imagine adding booze into the mix? I recently covered one of the most popular Friday night events this city has seen, where history comes to life after hours. I'm standing outside the Royal Ontario Museum on Bloor Street, where hundreds of people are expected to line up for the third installation of Friday Night Live. On tonight's agenda, Beer Me. Ticket holders can expect a wide variety of local brews, live entertainment, food, and access to all the exhibits after hours. Early bird ticket holders get to go into the museum first at 7 p.m. Anyone else takes their chances of getting in at all. Guests are serenaded to the sound of live music as they enter the front doors. They get to buy Rombucks for $6 that can be used to buy beer, wine, and spirits. This allows them to sip while they make their way through the exhibits.
We're also working with some special pieces that we're bringing out of the vaults in our collections to show people and to take people sort of through the history of brewing and the brewing process and how beer was thousands of years ago and what it is today.
Now a decade old, these FNLs attract 3,000 people to the club-like setting on average every night. The dress code is high glam and is described as a classy meat market with a historical twist. It's a whole different experience than the school field trip you took as a kid.
We're really close to Oktoberfest, so this is our sort of nod to Oktoberfest. We've been calling it Wrongtoberfest to get our sort of take on things.
So we're based out of Kitchener, and tonight we're pouring Raynor the Fox, which is our rye ale. It's a 5% rye spiced ale, really quite light.
Descendants is just one of the 4 craft beer exhibitors available for guests to try this evening.
And this is one fantastic party.
The 19 Plus event runs every Friday until November 25th, and the theme for the evening varies by week. I'm Ashley Bruzas with Observer TV News. Back to you. And that's it for news. Stay with us for international and national news after the break.
Hello and welcome to the Journal.
We are artists, writers, and storytellers. We are communicators, innovators, and collaborators. We are leaders, creators, and achievers. With one thing in common, a passion for storytelling. Bring life to learning at Centennial College.
Welcome back and hello everyone. I'm Evangelos Sipsas and here's what's making news in Canada and the world. The federal Liberal government gave the green light yesterday after approving 2 pipelines, including the controversial Trans Mountain Line. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his cabinet colleagues signed off on the 2 pipelines after several months of negotiations. These projects will take Alberta oil to BC and to the United States. Climate campaigners and Indigenous groups have attacked the government's decision, calling it a betrayal. Now to the southern United States, where firefighters have been battling wildfires for more than a month. 7 people have died and thousands more had to leave their homes in Tennessee after the fires ravaged the community of Galtenberg all week. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is also burning. Currently, 50 fires are still out of control in Tennessee. The governor has declared a state of emergency. The French government is calling for an emergency UN Security Council meeting as the battle for control of Aleppo continues. Up to 20,000 people have fled Syria's second largest city over the past 72 hours. Syrian government forces continue to advance from the east against the rebel-held neighborhoods. UN officials say that at least 250,000 people remain under siege. In local news, Toronto is fighting a war of a different kind. With gun-related crimes this year hitting the highest levels in the last 10 years, some communities across the city are fighting to put an end to the violence. Here's what they told me. And now over to Umema with more. Umema?
Thank you, Evangelo. I'm Umema Chitani, and here's what's making news in Canada and around the world. Police in Alberta are investigating a police shooting which killed one woman early yesterday morning. This is the 10th police shooting case in Calgary this year, also the 5th to result in death. The response team claims the woman had been carrying 2 knives, one in each hand. There was a confrontation and she was shot by a rookie officer who'd been on the force for about a year. And things are not looking so good overseas either. A German intelligence agent is under investigation for conspiring with Islamic extremists. He'd been in regular contact with the extremist group while he was working for the BFE. What he never imagined was behind those emails was another German agent pretending to be an extremist. He hadn't been with the spy agency for too long. The suspect had partially confessed, saying he wanted to send warnings to his brothers in faith. And in some more bizarre news today, a teen has pleaded guilty to trespassing and mischief after sneaking into a stranger's hot tub in the Okanagan Valley of BC. He and a middle-aged woman were recorded on the owner's surveillance camera. According to the RCMP, they'd been conducting what the police describe as illegal and obscene acts. The owner posted the surveillance video online to help catch the sex party. The hot tub company has since gifted the owner with a free lock. Meanwhile, closer to home, there wasn't anything illegal going on at the Richmond Hill Santa Claus Parade. For the first time in the history of the event in the town, Richmond Hill hosted a nighttime welcome for Santa and Mrs. Claus. The theme was "To Us the Night Before Christmas." Here's my report. Students of Beverly Acres Public School gathered at Richmond Green High School last Sunday to walk the Santa Claus Parade as a marching band. For many of them, it was their first time. And what instruments are you playing tonight?
I'm playing the flute, I'm playing the trombone. I play the baritone organ, and I play the trombone too.
Awesome. And is this your first time in the parade?
Yeah. Yes, we're all grade 7s.
You're all grade 7s? Oh, wow. And what are you looking most forward to tonight?
Probably just playing our instruments. I look forward, like everyone seeing us play and marching.
What's exciting is for the first time, the Richmond Hill Santa Claus Parade did not walk down Yonge Street. Instead, they opted for Leslie Street. Not only that, but they also made it a nighttime parade that began at 6 p.m.
So we used to, we'd run the parade down Yonge Street for the last number of years, and in light of some construction projects that have been happening along Yonge Street, we were asked to look at alternative routes. And we deemed that Leslie was our more optimal route to run in this particular event.
The success of the event will determine if a night parade is feasible for the future. The route, however, will continue to be Leslie Street while Yonge Street is installed with Live Viva bus terminals, a project that is set to complete in 2018. Umema Chitani, Observer News, Toronto. And that's a look at international and national news. Now stay with us when Raquel and Rose will have your entertainment and lifestyle news.
Hello and welcome to the Journal.
We are artists, writers, and storytellers. We are communicators, innovators, and collaborators. We are leaders, creators, and achievers. With one thing in common, a passion for storytelling. Bring life to learning at Centennial College.
Welcome back, and hello everyone. I'm Rose Hetherington. Here's what's going on in health and lifestyle news. First off, more millennials are getting Botox. A recent survey finds that American plastic surgeons are seeing more patients under 30. Patients from 19 to 34 are starting Botox early to avoid wrinkles or to stop new ones. While most patients are women, there are men who get the treatment too. Preventative Botox for millennials is taking off outside of America. It's trending in Toronto, with some treatments costing around $500. Sarah Jessica Parker is opening her first store in Maryland. It'll be in the casino resort, MGM National Harbor. Parker says she's excited to help create the brick-and-mortar store. The shop's launching next Thursday. The day after it opens, customers can start buying her brand's clothing, accessories, and shoes. Most things cost under $700. The world's oldest person on record turned 117 yesterday. Emma Morano was born in 1899. The Italian woman celebrated by blowing out candles on her cake in her home. Morano gives credit to her diet. She eats 2 raw eggs a day. She's outlived all of her siblings, one of whom lived until 102. Maybe she might like this next story. Handmade, sustainable, and fair trade products are center stage for vendors at the Queen West Art Crawl in Toronto. Jewelry and accessories are stealing the spotlight. Here's my recent report.
Tires are being given new life as handmade jewelry, belts, and wallets. Cassandra Chirallo founded her eco-friendly fashion business after a trip to Bali, where she met 2 tire artists.
They were handcrafting everything. Something like this piece is all cut by hand. And yeah, I just really wanted to be a part of their mission, helping to give old tires a new life and just bringing art and creativity to the fashion industry and also sustainability.
Chirallo isn't officially fair trade yet. Worldwide, there's more than 1.5 million farmers and workers who are. Fair trade is a billion-dollar industry. Local Toronto businesses and artisans are taking part in a global effort. Vendors like Vera Odette sell handmade jewelry crafted from sustainable silver. Odette went on a spirit quest to Guatemala, where she found her mission in life.
I met a Mayan silversmith and shaman, and we became friends and did rituals together, and we just became, we really connected. And so I asked him if he could show me how to make a few pieces. We made a few pendants, a few rings, and I just connected with silver.
Queen West Art Crawl showcases local artists and businesses on October 1st and 2nd. Over 200 artists are at the event.
I'm Rose Hetherington, Observer News. And now here's Raquel to wrap up the show.
Thanks. And here are your entertainment briefs. Big news, Netflix customers. Netflix announced today that subscribers will be able to download videos for later viewing. This is welcome news for many customers. Up till now, customers had to connect to the internet to watch a Netflix show or film. No illegal downloads from their site. Downloads for shows like Orange is the New Black will be available on iOS and Android devices. Netflix is introducing the offline viewing in an effort to keep eyes on their service. Customers who watch videos using data plans are conscious about how much of an episode they can watch. With offline viewing, data won't be a concern. Only select content can be downloaded now, but Netflix says more is on the way. It's a bird, it's a plane, now it is a 4-part superhero crossover. Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow characters are all over each other's shows this week. Networks have already experienced a boost in viewership in the advertiser-coveted 18 to 49 demographic. You can catch part 3 of the conglomerate on CTV2, where Arrow celebrates its 100th episode. Oh, Nickelback. The jokes keep on coming. Police officers in Kensington PEI had a humorous Facebook post. The post reminds residents of the dangers of driving and drinking. If caught doing so, a hefty fine, criminal charge, and 1-year suspension of a license could follow, along with our favorite band to remember. The post says, "We will also provide you with a bonus gift of playing the office's copy of Nickelback in the cruiser on the way to jail. So please, let's not ruin a perfectly good, unopened copy of Nickelback. You don't drink and drive, and we won't make you listen to it." The post has over 1,500 shares and likes. Kensington police hope that the touch of humor does more to underscore the importance of driving safe. And here at home, the East York Community Center could be getting a makeover. A new community art project could soon be in the works. Here's my recent story on this development. East York community members got to have a say in a potential mural. Earlier this fall, the first community mural consultation was held at the East York Community Center. Vibe Arts' Julie Frost hopes the project will be successful.
Yes, this community, which is the Pape O'Connor community, lacks a large public mural. There's very little public art in this community, so it's absolutely essential that we try our very hardest to get a large mural there. So the community wants it, the community will make it, and the community is really excited by it. So it's a fantastic chance to really build the community's innovativeness, because there's a lot of amazing people living in this community.
The East York Neighborhood Initiatives is running this mural project, and they are working together to put in a grant towards the City of Toronto. If the grant is accepted, it will be the direct contributor to the funds that are needed for this project. Another thing that makes the mural so special for the East York community would be that it would be the first of its kind, because community residents will be able to directly contribute to the art that will go on the East York Community Center. There are other programs run by the city, such as Street Art Toronto, but this one will be extra special because community members will be able to leave a little bit of themselves on the mural artwork.
You know, in the area, it's a multicultural area. So, you know, it will bring families together and, you know, give the youths an opportunity to do something. If it's going to be right outside the East York Community Center, I think it's a great idea, because a lot of people do come to the center for different programs and stuff like that. So it'll be something, will give people an opportunity, and to bring, like I said, bring friends and families together and to collaborate and do different things together.
There's hope and a lot of plans, but the first hurdle is funding. The application is to be handed in by the end of October, but for some in East York, a go-ahead for the mural can't come soon enough. Raquel Russell, Observer TV News. And that's it for now. Stay tuned for more news coming up. Check out TorontoObserver.ca for more in-depth coverage. I'm Raquel Russell. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Hello and welcome to Observer TV News. It's Wednesday, November 30. I'm Renee Allen.
And I'm Alicia Ratnaraja, and here are the top stories. A two-alarm fire broke out at a Scarborough restaurant. 9 people are facing 111 firearm charges.
And Netflix users are getting an exciting update. And now to our top story. There's been a big fire at a popular Scarborough restaurant. The fire broke out at Annabella Barbecue and Deli early this morning near Danforth and Birchmount. Officials say the fire started in the restaurant's basement.